Welcome to the Pastor's Huddle. Well, now I've been doing this for 11 weeks and you've never seen the assistant coach. Well, now you do. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. You know that if you've been following the Pastor's Huddle, I always like to start off with a little bit of football gridiron kind of information. And so I'm going to do that. Every successful team in football, if they're going to a victory on the field, they must have a plan before they get on the field. And that goes for every great team. Now you say even losing teams have plans. Well, that's true too. But good plans that are well communicated and well coordinated generally have greater success. So like a good football team, we at Heritage Valley Assembly, we're taking tonight the Pastor's Huddle to communicate our plan. Our plan to get back out on the field, and that is to begin to relaunch and to share tonight, communicate and coordinate our specific step-by-step plans for us physically coming together again at Taylor Seminary this coming Sunday, June the 7th, 2020 at 10:30 a.m. So this will be just a slight longer than most pastors' huddles, but it's important you have this good informational video to better prepare you for our relaunch and your participation in coming together again with us after 11 weeks of being separated. So, are you ready? Now, what I'm about to share, I'm going to basically kind of read from this because this is the manuscript I put together, which Janice, our administrative assistant, is preparing and sending out as well in written form for all of you by way of email. It'll also appear on our church website, www.heritagevalley.assembly.com, and you'll be able to see this video further on this Facebook page as well as on YouTube on our church website. So between the written information that I'm providing tomorrow, Wednesday, excuse me, I'm actually recording this Tuesday night, so it's actually Wednesday, forgive me. And then you'll have that both in written form and verbal and informational by way of viewing this tonight. So hopefully that'll help as we look forward to our grand relaunch this Sunday. So if you're ready, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, wow, this is going to be cool. Yeah. It's going to be really high tech, okay? All right, here we go. We're thankful. You're thankful. I'm thankful. We're all thankful that we can reconvene as a church at Taylor Seminary on Sunday, June the 7th, 2020 at 10:30 a.m. However, as we do, our church leadership team fully understands the potential for the spread of COVID-19 within our precious church. That still exists. As a result, church leadership has designed a comprehensive action plan based upon the guidelines established by the Government of Alberta and the Chief Medical Officer of Alberta. To what? To minimize the risk of any potential spread and impacts of COVID-19 on our congregation. On Saturday, May 23rd, 2020, you received a copy of that action plan from myself by way of email correspondence for your review. So you've already had a chance to be able to get a better sense of what the guidelines are that we're having to follow, about 35 to be precise, that have been set down in law by the Government of Alberta. However, tonight's updated information is provided to show you what you can expect as you come to Heritage Valley Assembly in the Sundays ahead. So in an effort to make this as clear as possible, we're going to walk step by step through the Sunday morning experience. Are you ready? And now I've got my high-tech PowerPoint person who's, this is going to be really high-tech. She's going to help me tonight, just to give you a few visual cues and reminders as we move through this step-by-step journey. This hopefully will help you. So step one. Step one is entitled Self-Assessment Tool. This is something you should be doing Saturday, Sunday morning, before you even get in the car or decide to get in the car to come to church. Government is asking us to do a self-assessment. And this is what we're to ask ourselves. Please do not come to church if you, now that's something you won't hear very often from a pastor, about not coming to church. But please do not come to church if you, number one, have a fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, or shortness of breath. Say it again. If you have a fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, or shortness of breath. Or second, if you have a close contact of a person who tested positive for COVID-19. If you check off one or all of those things, please stay at home for your health's sake and for the protection of others. God will meet you there as well as anywhere else, okay? That's step number one. Step number two, if you're able to successfully pass that self-assessment tool in the positive, then you move on to step number two, which is parking lot protocol. If you are healthy and able to come to church upon parking your car or arriving in DATS or whatever form of transportation that you arrive at church, ensure that you maintain physical distancing of 2 meters or 6 feet or a hockey stick length distance between other people, even in the parking lot. And as you make your way toward the front doors of Taylor Seminary, all right? That's important. Step number three. Ooh, wow, look at, I just touched the button and the slide changed. Step number three is this. Outside front door check-in. As you approach the outside front doors, one of our friendly church attendants will welcome you. They won't physically greet you, but they will welcome you with a friendly verbal greeting. And they will do so outside those doors. They will be masked with protective gloves, and they will ensure you are not ill. They'll ask you one more time, are you okay? Are you healthy? And if you say yes, you can go in. If you said no, they will just kindly and with all courtesy request that you go home and be healthy and stay safe. If you're healthy, they will do one thing before you go through the doors, and they will sanitize your hands. They'll actually do it for you. So just stick out your hands and they'll sanitize them. They will also pace your entry into the building to guarantee physical distancing. So we assume there might be a couple of people behind you. We want to maintain that safe distance as you go through the doors. They will also have facial masks for you if you want to wear one. We've purchased over 100 masks, brand new, and they are for your usage, and you can keep them. If you wish to wear a mask, and that's perfectly okay, don't feel uncomfortable. There's no shame in wearing a mask if you feel more protected and safe that way. Step number 4, inside front doors check-in. As you enter through the inside front doors, you will be met by another wonderful church member who will welcome you verbally. They will also be masked with protective gloves, and they will ensure that you physically distance yourself as you make your way down the hallway to the sanctuary. Now I need to pause here for a moment. You can go into the washroom if you wish. We would prefer that you not take your coat off at the front door. You can keep that with you, all right? But then you have to make your way down the hallway to the sanctuary. We do not have access to the common area or to the kitchen area, the fellowship area, due to Taylor Seminary's restrictions. So you have to kind of make your way socially distanced from one another down the hallway toward the sanctuary, all right? Step number 5, check-in table. As you draw closer to the sanctuary doors, you'll be met by another masked and gloved friendly. They will record your name for attendance purposes. Please be assured, and I want you to hear me on this, we heard this directly from Dr. Henshaw's very mouth at a town hall meeting with faith leaders and from Premier Kenny himself. This information that we record regarding your attendance on Sunday mornings is for our use. We own that information. We will never be asked for attendance records by medical or government authorities, except, and only this exception, in the event someone in our congregation develops COVID-19. The information then, on those occasions only, will be shared for tracing purposes to medical authorities only, to alert others of exposure to the disease. This is a proper thing to do because we don't want to see anyone being jeopardized and their health being compromised. So we are protecting that information. It is ours, we own it, but just in the event someone becomes ill, we do need to share it by law. Step number 6. Sanctuary service. As you enter the sanctuary, you will be greeted by ushers who will also be masked and gloved. Hand sanitizers will be provided in the sanctuary for your convenience, as they will be elsewhere in the facility. Please use them as often as you want. If you're unsure as to where you want or can sit, let me assure you that you can choose wherever you want to sit. However, you must only sit with your family members or your cohort group that you've been connected to during this pandemic. As well, you will need to physically distance yourself by 2 meters or 6 feet or a hockey stick length from each other. These requirements apply to people beside you, behind you, and or in front of you. 6 feet all around, 6-foot bubble, all right? The ushers will also be there to assist you in relocating to assure a safe distance if you inadvertently forget, which sometimes we can do, or if you're unsure. They're there to assist you to be safe. During our worship time, an offering plate will not be passed around, but a container will be positioned in a secure place. And we will announce during the service where that is, because some of you will desire to tithe and deposit within that container. However, you can continue to give online, as you so generously have done during this pandemic, by visiting our church website, www.heritagevalleyassembly.com, if that is more convenient than doing so on the physical premises. There also will be no congregational singing at the request of our medical authorities at this time, though music will be incorporated into our service for you to quietly worship to. So there will be a music element added, and you'll know more about that when you come. There also will be a time of intercessory prayer, normally what we do, and a sharing of the word from our pastors. We will encourage you to warmly and graciously welcome one another, as we often do, but with no physical touch. For example, no handshaking, no knuckle bumping, no hugs. We're just asking you to indicate your care to one another with a thumbs up or a wave or a I'm thinking of you or my heart is with you, or however you wish to do that, but in a non-physical touch manner. All right? As well, it is to be noted that our service will be online live, let me say that again more clearly, through Facebook. The Sunday service will also be filmed, edited, and placed online to our church website, the website I've already indicated, and you can access that on our YouTube channel, Heritage Plus, by Tuesday each week. So in case you're not on the physical premises, you can go on our Facebook page. You'll see it live. It won't be as quality as we've been doing, but if you want something more finished, then you can see it in terms of the filmed product that we're also going to be distributing on Tuesdays each week on our website. And That way you'll get church every week. In other words, if you're unable to attend Taylor Seminary on Sundays, we will continue to present our online services to serve you. Step number 7, following worship service. Upon concluding our worship service, our ushers will once again assist you to physically distance as we exit the sanctuary. As well, guidelines require that we exit Taylor Seminary through a different door than where we arrived. As a result, you will be asked and directed to an exit, the exit that is at the northeast door leading from the common area. If you're in doubt, our ushers will be there, and there will be clear indication what door to go out. You'll make your way around the sanctuary and to the west to the parking lot. Please note, Taylor Seminary has rightfully restricted as well usage of the common area and the kitchen before, during, and after the service. Therefore, no food or refreshments will be available on Sunday mornings during this active COVID-19 phase. Eventually, as permitted by our good authorities, we will be able to more fully fellowship with food, drink, and potlucks in the future only after we're given permission by our medical authorities. I'm looking forward to that day. As you return to your vehicle or transportation in the parking lot, please maintain the required physical distancing of 2 meters, 6 feet, or a hockey stick length. These steps should provide you a very safe and healthy experience in church, and we look forward to that. Now, just a couple of final thoughts as we conclude. Number 1, as most of you know, we are allowed to have 50 people in attendance per week. We can have no more than 50. That means we cannot have 51. We can only have up to 50. However, we've decided that those who have had no access to online services the last 10 weeks be given the courtesy of being able to attend regularly as they are able. That just seems the fair thing to do. Next, we are required to have enough volunteers on site each Sunday to ensure we fully comply with the civic authorities' requirements. Therefore, this will leave us with the ability to have a remaining 35 to 40 attendees each Sunday beyond our volunteers and beyond those that will come who have no online access. Yet this will not enable our entire church, and please note this, it will not enable our entire church to meet all together each Sunday. So as a result, we've instructed our church's administrative assistant, Janice Johnson, to connect with you over the next several days before Sunday to determine your planned attendance. This will work, and we will be able to organize that beautifully. As you can appreciate, this will be of inconvenience to all of us until the cap on attendance per Sunday is lifted by our civic authorities. So we're asking, let's just be patient and let's just continue to be thankful for the opportunity that we're back together again, even though there'll be a few inconveniences that we'll have to deal with for a short period of time. Number 2, our washrooms, of course, are accessible as normal. Number 3, an assigned individual will cleanse and sanitize all high-touch areas following the arrival of most individuals. While the service is going on, they will be at work. In other words, we will be treating possible infection areas even while we are in attendance. So upon leaving, these areas will have already been cleansed, sanitized, and cared for. Finally, number 4, this phase will be different than what we've known. Church will look different. But I'm here to say as your pastor, along with Pastor Matthew, his wife, and Colleen, I want to remind us, even though church and how it looks will change, God has not. God is unchanging, and His love and His care will consistently be with us. And He will move into our services in a new and exciting way, and will help us and propel us into a new stage of church development and growth. This is not a setback. This is just an ongoing step, moving forward in God. So my dear friends, my dear flock tonight, with God, we are victors, not victims. With God, our church will move forward, not fall backwards. With God, his kingdom shall be built, not diminished. So though we are dealing with some inconveniences, God's will be accomplished, and we will move forward with joy and delight and excitement to be together once again and seeing his will done in our lives, in our church, as we continue to see his work done within us, so that we can be a positive force and impact in our community in touching lives in practical and loving and caring ways. Our future is bright. Our future is bright. So let's move forward together now with these understandings, and God will bless us.